Hello, welcome back. This is the Case of the Golden Idol, and I have to say we're on a bit of a roll. We're doing well. The cases, or the chapters, or the whatever you want to call each scenario, are kind of interesting in the way they deliver information. And I felt interested and clever in picking it apart, finding a narrative, maybe amending that narrative, and then figuring out what actual evidence is pointing to the answers. It's been good. It's been good. The art is still not something I jive with, but that doesn't matter because we're here to have fun. We just did this chapter, so to catch us up, I'm not gonna recap the entire plot every time I start the game, but so just to recap on what just happened. And I actually. Sorry, I turned on my little fan, but I should turn it off because it's probably going to be picked up on the microphone. I like to just turn it on between recordings to just give myself a little bit of a respite. Because it's like it's not that early. It's like 11 o'clock, and it's like 11 o'clock. It's 31 degrees. Close the curtains. Bit sweaty. You know how it goes. No air conditioning, of course. On we go. So I don't need to explain myself. I had the fan on. Fan is now off. I've got my water. We're great. So as I was saying, last chapter is continued this ongoing kind of plot that I'm. Maybe it is clear. Maybe it's clearer than I think. But I think it's currently ambiguous. There's something going on with Walter Keane and his. Walter Keane, Dave Gorman, this new guy, Lazarus Hurst. They've infiltrated the Brotherhood of Masks to do something. So Lazarus Hurst, I think, is now the Griffin Reborn, which is some kind of exalted leader status within the Brotherhood of Masks. And he secretly used the idol to convince them he performed a miracle, resulting in the death of one of the masters. One of the elders. To what end? I'm not sure. There has been some ongoing themes, mostly seen, I guess, in the dinner party part of, what are we calling it? Class warfare? Of the underclass being furious at the rich masters. Hang on, let's so yeah, transgressions. I'll unleash the stewards upon you. You'll pay for your sins against honest common folk with blood. That's just Peter Blatley being a dickhead. Raises in salaries for the wise slave, cartoons about the parasitic upper class. So I don't know if the Brotherhood of Masks. I mean, it's not the Brotherhood of Masks who's leading that charge against the upper class, because these guys, there were lords and sirs and I guess doctors of the upper class, because they're likely the only people who could afford an education to rise those ranks. But yeah, I think. I mean, Walter Keane is a sir. Anyway, I think this is some kind of infiltration, maybe by the Final Vanguard, who we don't really know anything about, but did seem to be annoyed at the disenfranchisement of the working class. Okay, it's been 4 minutes. Let's go on to the next chapter. The interrupted weekend at the doctor's salon. Well, we got another dead guy. It looks like a gunshot wound to the head. And everyone's arguing about it. This guy's got a massive pair of scissors. Fingers are being pointed. This guy does not know what's going on. He's like, I came in to borrow a ream of paper. This has nothing to do with me. I'm just going to back out slowly and hope no one notices me. Right. Lots going on. And another room, as has been standard recently. And another room. We can go outside. So let's do our... We know how we do it. People first, then left to right. Our lord, I did not expect something like this in our household. Slightly grassy garden shears. Maybe he's a gardener. This is such a mess. However, we will clean the blood out of the rug. He looks intoxicated. Ah, this guy is Dr. James Turner, a Dark Hand Master. Ah, Leopold, your plan to frame Patu is sublime, but your missing button is more than enough proof that you did it. Constable, escort this man out. Frame Patu. Who do we think Patu is? Or is it just 2? Like the silent P, 2. You're framed to frame 2. Meanwhile, this guy says, James, this is preposterous. You know damn well he was killed by that Lemurian savage. I don't know the word Lemurian. Is this a real term? Or for a real place or not? I realised is there stuff that I should have clicked on inside of him. I should have. But not these guys. Okay, sorry. I'll click on these things first. So he's obviously Brotherhood of the Masks. Clean Doctor's scalpel because he's a doctor. But also a sword. Because why not? A clean small sword. Who do we think this guy is? I think this is Leopold. James is preposterous. You know damn well he was killed by the Lemurian savage. He's got a small sword. Clean. I think clean is important. Even though this guy was not stabbed. Maybe he was stabbed. Probably not stabbed though. And he's missing a button. Yeah, so this is definitely Leopold. Right, got a little letter. May 18th, 1792. So we're another year on. Dear friend, now the elections are over, please join me for a leisurely weekend at my manor with good old Augustus and some other fine fellows. We'll have some drinks and discuss what to do about the Prime Minister position. Kindly confirm your presence, Dr. James Turner. I'm not going to tell you when, but, you know, confirm your presence nonetheless. Oh, I didn't update the spreadsheet. Never mind. Never mind. I don't think we need it. I don't think we need it. I think we're doing fine. Famous last words. Right, who's this guy? Is this guy... Yes. This is Alistair Coke. So we should find a ring on him. And we do. Another clean small sword. Right. This is outrageous. I thought you were an honourable man, Leopold. Not some... Aquitanian agent trying to sabotage our friendly relations with Lemuria and provoke a conflict. Okay, well, so the what are they called? The Masks? Brotherhood of Masks are pinning it on Leopold. But is this all a ruse? Alright, let's look at this guy. He stole his life just like that. The doctor is a smart man since he saw through his lies. So you've got a small clean... Why has everyone got a small clean short sword? Dear friend, from James Turner. At one of the balls you said you'd love to meet someone actually interesting. I'm having a weekend of drinks at my manor, and a prince from the 11th clan of Lemuria will be joining us. Please do us the honour of your company too. Kindly confirm your presence, James Turner. Okay. Is this the Crown Prince of Leopold? He looks like he's wearing fancy gear. I hope the host didn't notice me when he was leaning over the sleeping eye patch gentleman. You are holding a lot of stuff. So this is a brown stone slate seal. Brown stone slate seal. With a picture of someone holding an axe with 2 hands. Little slots in there maybe. Brown stone slate seal. Okay. A spicy smelling ornamental box. A clean Lemurian war club. I wonder what that is down there. And 2 letters. So this is the prince from Lemuria. Dear Prince, I heard you got yourself invited to a party by the director of the Seven Seas Company himself. James Turner. I know you hate associating with these invaders and thieves, but this might be an opportunity to... this might be just the opportunity we seek to reclaim our honour. And another letter. James Turner. Dear Prince, as you know, I'm a great aficionado of Lemurian culture. It would be my pleasure to invite a member of the Batu clan to spend a leisurely weekend at my estate with some of our own political dignitaries. Please kindly confirm your presence, Dr. James Turner. Okay, so this is... What are we saying? So 2, I think, is the clan, not his name. Your plan to frame Patu. So there's some kind of... this is interesting. So Lemurian is maybe the wider area, and 2 is the clan, or he is 2 and it's his clan. He's a member though. Not, okay, we'll figure it out. We'll figure it out. There's lots going on. Look at all these symbols. Oh my god. Okay, so this guy. Oh god. Believe me, my lord, I do not feel comfortable arresting a prime ministerial candidate. But I must ask you to follow me. So this is a constable, and this is constable number 1, Arthur Faulkner, and he's got one of those rattles that we saw in an early chapter, like a warning rattle. He's also got a clean constable's pike and a note book with lots of bookmarks. Testimonies. Okay. Whew, here we go. Leopold. Oh my god. Okay, this is going to be... I'm not writing anything down yet, but... Okay. Leopold claims that had a glass of sherry with James in the library and became drowsy. As he was falling asleep, saw the Lemurian observing him through the glass door. Woke up, found the butler on the floor asleep. Woke up the butler, entered the salon and found the body. I'm guessing we're in the salon. Upon inspecting the weapon, deduced the Lemurian was the murderer. Instructed the butler to raise the alarm. Okay. I might have to write this down in a form where I can see all the testimonies together so I can check for inconsistencies, but okay. So, fell asleep kind of in the library. Saw the Lemurian observing him through the door. Found the butler asleep on the floor. Woke up the butler, went into the salon, found the body. Inspected the weapon. The butler raised the alarm. Now, Gideon says he played croquet with Ergin in the morning. They got bored and went to drink tea in the tea house. Ergin drew his attention to the interesting design of the chess house. He then saw Lord Alistair Coke, which is the guy with the glasses, lecture the butler. He then saw Master Turner, this guy, come to the chess house to send the butler away, just as Ergin was remarking on the beauty of the chess house. Coke lectured the butler. Saw Alistair leave the chess house and return shortly afterwards. So Coke lectured the butler. Okay. Ergin. I don't know who Ergin is. Slightly difficult to understand what he says, potentially because his challenges with our language. So maybe this Ergin is the Patu guy. Claims that everything young Master Bell says is absolutely correct. Okay, we don't know who Bell is yet, but I wonder if he's this guy with the blue hair. He seems the youngest. James. James claims that he drank a glass of sour sherry with Blanchard in the library in the morning. Right, just quick Leopold. Could be Leopold Blanchard. James. Yes, okay. So I think these two are confirming each other's sherry in the library testimony. Then he went to the chest house where he found Lord Alistair with the butler. Let's go look at... We haven't got Alistair yet. Alistair lectured the butler. Alistair the chess house. Sure. Ordered the butler to clean up the library and get rid of the bad sherry. Spent the rest of the time playing chess with Alistair until the alarm was raised. Note, as the master of the house, he led the interrogation of the suspects. Okay, so this is James's house. Alistair says. Alistair Coke. This fella. He claims that in the morning he practiced chess at the chess house and educated the butler on his lack of military training. Sometime in the afternoon, Dr. Turner, this guy, arrived and sent the butler away. They played together and he was very close to winning when the alarm was raised. Okay. I'm not going to try and corroborate all this until I've seen all the evidence that's going on. Billiam claims he planted and pruned, so he's probably this guy. He planted and pruned all morning by the chrysanthemum bush. Saw a young gentleman and foreigner, so blue hair and this guy, leave the croquet and go behind the manor. In the afternoon, moved to the rose bush. From there, he saw Lord Augustus lead the fountain around noon. Continued his work on the roses until the alarm was raised by Mr. Hill. Okay. Podrick. Oh, maybe I will try and work on corroborating all this. Okay, he claims that he served Lord Alistair in the chess house in the morning. His master arrived and instructed him to dispose of the spoilt sherry that he and Lord Leopold had drunk, and then go and assist Mr. Spade in the garden. Is this guy's name Spade? Hilarious. Upon entering the library to take away the glasses, he found Lord Leopold asleep in the library. Suddenly he was overcome by dizziness and fainted due to his weak heart. Was woken by Lord Leopold and instructed to raise the alarm. Okay, so this is the butler. This is probably this guy. And he does have the kind of funny eyes. So, maybe he was put unconscious through some means. He then saw the deceased lying in the salon. All right. Pause recording. I'm going to put this into a spreadsheet because that's the way we do it. And I think we've spoken to everybody here who... Let's finish looking at the bodies and then I'm going to make the spreadsheet. So this is a dead guy. He's got... Listen, apologies for the shouting match yesterday. Let's continue our discussion at noon. Leo. Dear friend, James Turner again. So these are all the invitations. The elections are over, so let's uphold tradition and have a leisurely weekend at my place with you and Leopold to discuss the Prime Minister situation. Please join us on May the 12th. So at least we've got a date. Kindly confirm your presence, James Turner. And he's got a small, clean, small... You know what I'm saying. Okay, pause recording. Hello, I'm back. You didn't miss much. Except... I now have a spreadsheet which I can refer to as this goes on. I've basically written it all out again in chronological order. I've abbreviated it. I've highlighted the names and places. And I've sort of homogenized the names. So the two guy, I think his name is Ergin. So I referred to him as Ergin throughout. The butler is called Podrick, for example. I think the young guy is called Bell, but we're going to need to confirm a couple of things. And I'm also not sure who Lord Augustus it refers to, for example. So we're going to figure it out. But I've got it all laid out here so we can kind of corroborate what adds up. And we've got to bear in mind James Turner led the investigation, so maybe he coordinated some tales. Let's find out as we continue. Right, let's explore the rest of this room. Left to right. Cool. Okay, this is a map of the room. So let's just call that JT Manor map. Okay, this is cool. So we can refer to this because some of the testimony, for example, so this one here, for example, so the gardener, Billiam, says Ergen and Bell left croquet and went behind the manor. So if we look at the map, he was working in the flower beds. Unclear which flower beds he was working in. But croquet field was here. Maybe Gideon is Bell. Maybe Gideon is the young guy. Yeah, maybe. Okay, so Gideon and Belle were playing croquet. And then they went behind the manor. So now that map's going to help us there. From his point of view, we went behind the manor. And then, did they go to the tea house? They did go to the tea house. So that adds up. So that's something we can bear in mind. That's the kind of thing we can... And like, actually, if we look at this, Ergen pointed to the chess house. So if you're in the tea house, you can point to the chess house. So, kind of things we can bear in mind. We can start bringing this all together. Let's click on all of this though. Library, salon, flower beds, fountain, chess house. Great. Okay, next thing along is this table. Full glass of sherry. An almost empty glass of sherry. And this is the library. So we were talking about people drinking sherry in the library. In fact, so Leopold and James drank the sherry in the library. Podrick, the butler, came to kind of clean it up. But he seemed to just fall asleep. I haven't actually written Podrick's down. 1 second. Right, sorry about that. Okay, so now we've got the Uh-oh. Now we've got the Podrick testimony. He's the butler. And he fainted in the library. So in the library, James and Leopold are drinking sherry. They fall asleep. Podrick arrives. He faints for some reason. Maybe there's the fumes of the sherry are tainted. And awakes sometime later. So there's stuff going on with the sherry. But some of the sherry was not drunk. Who said they fell asleep? Leopold became drowsy. James did not become drowsy. So did James taint the sherry to start a chain of events? So James was like, Leopold, come drink sherry with me. Leopold falls asleep because the sherry is fumed with, I don't know, chloroform. And then he's like, because later on he goes and tells Podrick, can you go clean up the sherry? Podrick goes to the sherry, also falls asleep. Boom, 2 people asleep. Now he can do just what he wants, which is who knows. Who knows? But that's one train of investigation we should be thinking about. I'm not going to finish this chapter in one episode, am I? On the floor, spilt bottle of sherry. Okay, we continue to go left to right. Let's look at this. The seals of the 12 Lumerian clans. This feels like something that should be in the thinking tab, but it's not. Okay, but we did see some of this, didn't we? So we saw the 2 hands, and we saw an axe. Is it on you? And a kind of a square with 2 triangles opposite sides of it. I don't know what that means. We'll have to figure that out. Because it's not just one clan, is it? It seems to be a combination of things. Okay. We've got... I'll go around here. Psychoactive plants. So here we go. This is was in the sherry. Drugged symptoms. So a spotty onion. An illusion of unity with the universe. Increased appetite. Hiccups. The black poppy. Sleepiness. Whites of eyes get a pink tint. Lemurian lichen. Or lichen. Hyperconcentration of one thing. So Lemurian, bear that in mind. Hyperconcentration of one thing. Loss of perception of time. Rapid blinking. Red berry. Surge of energy. Vocalization of your thoughts. Twitching and aggression. It's interesting you can't click on these because you would have thought these would be perfect clues to think about. So this feels like a black poppy situation. People are falling asleep. And this guy, we've already seen, has the pink tints in his eyes. So there's some black poppy in that sherry, I would say. Interesting, it's just a poster at the scene of the crime. Okay, dead body. What have we not looked at? Oh, his head. He's not breathing. He has a huge vertical wound on his forehead. So it is kind of a knifey wound. It's not a shot to the head, is what it is. It's some kind of trauma, be it blunt or sharp. And he's holding a button in his hand. Bum, bum, bum. And what is this? Looks like a boomerang, doesn't it? Again, we can't click on it, so we don't know. Okay, so where are we now? We're in the salon, looking through the glass doors at the library. So, we need to keep refreshing ourselves the testimonies as we go along. I think that's useful. So let's remind ourselves. So, as Leopold was in the library, becoming drowsy, he looked through those glass doors and saw Ergen observing him, suggesting Ergen was in the salon, this room here, as he fell asleep. We'll see. Let's go here. So if we go through this door, we're going to end up in this little atrium, I guess. Let's find out. Okay, so it's just fully outside. So tea house, chess house. Right, here's another thing to bear in mind. So the gardener started by the chrysanthemum bush. That's going to bother me. And then moved to the rose bush. So I think this is going to be the chrysanthemums. Yep, because he can see from the croquet to the tea house. These are going to be the rose bushes. Yep. This is a little fountain. Now, someone was near the fountain. I remember writing fountain. Here we go. I didn't spell it right. So Billiam, the gardener, moved to the rose bushes and he saw Augustus, who I'm not sure who Augustus is. Is it Leopold? Yeah, I'll have to figure out who Augustus is. Need some full names. We saw Augustus leave the fountain at noon. So around noontime, whoever Augustus is left the fountain. London Gazetteer. Who will be the new Prime Minister? So don't forget, James Turner, whose house this is, whose little get-together this is, in some of the invites to people, who's like, let's discuss the whole Prime Minister situation, okay? So, the parties appear to be the New Order Party, the Loyalists, and the Moderates. Okay. Election results. New Order Party won, the Moderates came second, and the Loyalists came third, but it seems to be a split rainbow parliament. The New Order Party has the most MPs, but it's clear the two old parties will form a coalition. I see. So these guys are going to become government. This means either Loyalist leader Blanchard or Moderate leader Valentine will become Prime Minister, leaving Lazarus Hurst and his party in the opposition. So this is what's been happening. Sort of. Let's not forget, Lazarus Hurst, well, last we saw him, had become the leader or the prophet of the masks, the Brotherhood of Masks. This guy looks a lot like our how do I go back in? I was going to say he looks a lot like this guy. Maybe he doesn't look like this guy. Right, take a look at that guy. Maybe not. Okay, Loyalist lead. So this is Blanchard. And this is Valentine. Okay, so we got their names anyway, so we know it's not them. So Lazarus. What's his name? Walter Keane got Lazarus Hurst to become the leader of the Order of the Mask, the Brotherhood of the Masks, in order to start some kind of new political party. We can assume they're new. They're called the New Order Party. Their logo appears to be or the political cartoon is depicting them as having just hatched from an egg. So they're brand new they're a new populist party, aren't they? To try and get into power. But obviously the old guys have decided, naturally, even though you won, between us we've got more people. So, to form a government you need to have majority. or to form a, let's assume this is England, or a kind of parliament that's like the UK. To form a strong government that has any power to do anything, you need to have majority. So that's what these guys have done. The moderate loyalists, the Moyalists. Let's go around the house then. Unfinished croquet match on a grass field, and a tea house which we can look into. 2 cups of spicy smelling tea, one almost empty, the other untouched. How does that corroborate? So Ergin and Gideon, I think Gideon is the young guy. We're drinking tea in the tea house. Yeah, I think those are the only people in the tea house. Ergin doesn't have anything of his own to say, so Gideon, I think, is speaking for both of them. Yeah, Ergin and Bell leave to go behind the manor, so that's just against the tea house. This all checks out. I wonder why someone didn't drink their tea, though. Like, Gideon said Ergin was essentially like, oh, look at the design on the chess house. That's really cool. Which, coupled with the undrunk tea, feels a little bit like Ergin was like, hey, look over there, pouring poison into the tea. But, you know, they're both alive, so don't know what that means. What did happen next? Yeah, there's nothing to suggest he didn't drink his tea, is there? I need to find out who Augustus is as well. All right, keep going. It's taking a while, but I'm trying to kind of keep... If I keep going back to the testimonies, then we stay refreshed with what testimonies are as we get a bigger understanding of the manor and all the things in play. So, chess house comes along. That is a chessboard. It's not going to make you know enough about chess to make you think, to make you question the layout of this board. That would be crazy. Right, have we clicked on everything here? Everything looks red to me, so let's go back inside. All right, that's it. That's all the information we got. Yeah, back inside. Right, let's have a look at our thinking tab to see what we've actually got to deal with. I'll move this in a... Okay, let's... So we've got 9 people, some of whom we can identify immediately because we know them already. We've got location of each suspect when the body was found. Ah. So we are not by name, but by who they are as a person. The gardener, the loyalist, the prince, the young man, the doctor, the butler, the general. Okay, we kind of... So let's stop there for a sec. Let's add ourselves a little row above, and let's make that italics. So this is the gardener. This is the butler. Not sure who Alistair is yet. Maybe I should be putting in all the names to start with. I think this is the prince. This is the young man. This is the doctor. So what have we got left? The loyalist and the general. So let's just do loyalist, general, question mark, just to remind ourselves we need to place those people. So that's the butler, that's Podrick. Let's start just putting some names in because we're aware of how this works. So we know that Billiam is the gardener. We know that Podrick. I think this is, and we know it's Billiam Spade as well. From I think from Podrick's testimony. So if we go back here, I'll give you the actual testimony. Mr. Spade. Assist Mr. Spade in the garden. So that's Podrick. That's where I got that from. We don't know who Podrick's first name is yet. This guy is James Turner, because we already know him. This guy is Coke. But which Coke? Alistair Coke. You are young Gideon Bell from the combined testimony. I think you're going to be Ergin Patu. And then you are the... So you're not one of these guys. You're the constable. Ah, this is the guy in the poster. This is a political assassination. This is the moderate. Oh, and this is the... He's got a... So Blanchard... So Blanchard is the loyalist. Valentine is the moderate. So the moderate is the dead guy. Oh, shit. The moderate is Valentine. And Blanchard is the loyalist. Leopold Blanchine. So you are this guy. Blanchard, sorry. Not Blanchine. Augustus. So 1 second. Let's look at the testimony again. Move to the Rosebush. Saw Augustus leave the fountain at noon. So about noon, where is everybody? Because not a lot of people talk about where the murder victim was. So let's quickly... Right, Gideon Bell I'm happy with. I'm just trying to make Ergin 2. Alistair... Right, you're Blanchard, aren't you? We know that much. And you are the... Blanchard is the loyalist. Valentine is the moderate. Okay. So you are the loyalist. So you must be the general? Is that right? Alistair is the general. Is that right? I'm going to go back to here for a sec with the list. Lord Alistair Coke. No, we don't know. We don't know for sure. I think I seem like I remember something though. No. Do not toy with the well-being of the Empire's general, for I do not tolerate being attacked. This guy is a general. Okay, I knew I'd seen it before somewhere. That's fine. So you are the general. So I'm going to put you there. And you're Alistair Coke. And you're Billiam Spade. Let's make this thorough. You are... I don't know what your first name is. Or second name. Okay, that's doing well. So what have we got left? We've got Arthur and we've got Augustus. We've got Faulkner and we've got Hill. So it sounds like Podrick is a first. Actually, I don't know. I think this guy's likely to be Augustus. In fact, I think it has to be Augustus. Because the testimony says... I saw Lord Augustus lead the fountain at noon. And I think everyone else... apart from Podrick is accounted for with a name, and Podrick is not a lord. So the only person left is going to be Augustus, whatever the hell his name was, the moderate. Whoops, not Bolt though. Dead. Cool. Okay, so I think you're Augustus. And then you're going to be... God, how do we know your name? Let's look in your pockets. No, nothing. What does the missing button mean? I mean, so these two are... So these two are the leaders of the two parties that are aiming to form a coalition, and one of them will become prime minister. So that's kind of part of the reason for this get together, is to hash it out how this is going to work. What is interesting though is that two of them are in the Brotherhood of Masks, whose leader is also the leader of the New Order party, who got the most individual votes. So their motivation might well be that neither of them become prime minister. I don't know. Okay. So by which I mean James Turner and Alastair Coke. These two are I think masters. Yeah, they're masters under Lazarus Hearst, and it's been a year. Clearly a lot's happened. Okay, let's go back to the thinking page because we didn't really explore everything that we needed to do. So under my head, someone is the victim, something is the murder weapon, something is where he was murdered, and the body was found by. So I think we can say Augustus Valentine is the victim. I don't think we can say what the murder weapon is. I mean, the boomerang, I will move my head again, is covered in blood. Doesn't mean it was him though. Now he says, right, let's move my little face back before I forget. I hope the host did not notice me when he was leaning over the sleeping eye patch gentleman. Leopold was so. Right, so we're still going with this idea that James Turner gave Leopold some sherry that may have knocked him out for a little while. Which let's be honest, here's what happened. You drank some of the sherry, didn't you? You had a little bit of a cheeky... James Turner asked you to clean up the sherry, and you obliged, but you did have a little cheeky glug glug, didn't you? You got the pink eyes as well. You do not have the pink eyes. So, you and you were affected by the poison of the black poppy. Not murder just to put you out for the count. I think you're an accidental drugging. And you're a deliberate drugging. You got the butler to clean up the sherry to hide the evidence, really. I don't know what the grand plan is yet. I'm going to go back to here because I want to know what the actual thing is we need to find. So, I'm reading the scroll. Early in the morning, someone blanked someone in the blank. And blanked a blank. So this could be James Turner drugged Leopold in the library. And I'm not sure what. Maybe planted something. Meanwhile, in the blank, someone blanked someone and blanked a Lemurian. I want to say that's probably Boomerang from the blank. This could be distracted. I don't know if we've got distracted. No, we don't. But this is going to be. I think this is going to be stolen Lemurian Boomerang. In the blank at around noon, someone blanked someone and blanked the boomerang on him, maybe, or button to... okay. Here we go. This is my guess. I'm going to temporarily put it in so I can just remember what the hell's going on. Early in the morning, James Turner drugged Leopold Blanchard in the library. And he stole a button. This is the plant. And then this is going to be planted the button on him to frame this is going to be Leopold Blanchard. That seems right. We can change it. I am sort of making a little bit of a leap, but this is all connected from the eyes, from the undrunk sherry. I think the undrunk tea might be a red herring. Now we've got to piece together what happens in the garden, because I think so. James Turner comes out to tell Podrick to clean up the library and remove the sherry. Meanwhile, Gideon and Ergen are over here in the tea house. Ergen points to the chess house and they watch Alistair. Oh, who's Alistair? This is Alistair. Yeah, they're seeing Alistair lecture Podrick. So this is what they're watching. So Alistair is in the chess house with Podrick, the butler, lecturing him about military training or his lack of military training or whatever, right? I kind of paraphrased. So they're backing up this story. And then they see James Turner go to the chess house and send Podrick away as Ergen observed the chess house. So let's see the actual testimony about that from Gideon, the young man. So they saw James Turner come to the chess house to send the butler away just as Ergen was remarking on the beauty of the chess house. So Ergen draws his attention to the design of the chess house. They look down. Alistair Coke's lecturing the butler. Master Turner comes along and says, "Butler, go clean up the sherry." while Ergin is drawn their attention over there. And then Alistair leaves the chess house and returns shortly afterwards. Alistair says, he didn't leave the chess house. That is a worry. So Gideon Bell says he saw Alistair leave the chess house and return, but Alistair says he stayed in the chess house and played. He didn't say that he left. So let's just flag this as a contradiction. That's a horrible colour, isn't it? Why did I pick that? It's a bit better, I guess. They're all kind of ugly shades, aren't they? Okay. So there's your contradiction. So I think Alistair and James are connected with this. James. So Gideon's perspective. Let's assume Gideon is honest for a moment. Gideon sees James goes to the chess house and send Podrick away. Alistair leaves the chess house and comes back. From Alistair's perspective, James arrives, sends the butler away. He then plays chess with James until the alarm. He doesn't say anything about leaving. From James' perspective, he goes to the chess house, finds Alistair and Podrick, the butler, sends Podrick away, and then plays Alistair. So these... So he cooperates with Alistair, but doesn't cooperate with Gideon. So I think, as suspected, Alistair and James, who are part of the Brotherhood of Masks, are concocting something here. No one says James leaves the chess house. So Alistair leaves the chess house. And we know there's a window between the library and the salon. Why does this say Spade? His name's Spade. Right, second question. Why don't we have all the names yet? We've got all the information here. And what is this? The seals of the 12 Lemurian clans. And also this guy. A brownstone slate seal. What does this mean? Spicy smelling ornamental box. So could have some of this stuff in it. So he's got a note on it that suggests he could pull some foul play. He's got a spicy smelling box which suggests it could have some things in it. This could be a frame job. What else is in your pocket? What is this? This is the invitation. Okay, so my theory is the invitation of this Lemurian prince I was going to say is a... I was going to... let me say all my thoughts and then let me say why that also doesn't quite make sense. So my thought was maybe James Turner invited the Lemurian prince as a plant, not a plant, like as a red herring, basically to say he brings a guy here who has some hostility, clearly, with this imperial nation, right? Which is suggested to have gone over to their country and, you know, do what empires do, bad things. So this guy would be deemed to be hostile to the English aristocracy and rulers. Probably add a little bit of racism in there to seal the deal. But the idea being that, this is the perfect guy to scapegoat is the word I'm looking for this murder, right? So maybe you plant this note on him. Maybe you plant some poison on him. I've just realised something, but I'll get to that. I have just realised something though. Maybe you plant some poison on him. Maybe, you know, steal his weapon and be like, bada boom, bada bing, this is your guy. Now, the counter to that, of course, is that he does also seem to be framing Leopold. But maybe him pointing fingers at Leopold is a distraction from what will eventually be this guy being thrown under the bus. Now, the other thing I noticed is I was trying to map this thing using this code, but clearly he's taken it from here. There's only 11. So can we work out how this works? In terms of... And does it matter? Also, the boomerang is missing, I've realised. So James Turner has this display of Lemurian stuff. And you've taken this off the wall. I don't think you've taken this, though. You've taken a boomerang. And this is something from the colonies that we... Rose Kubert had one of these in her pocket from her time in the colonies. So maybe this is the same area that we're talking about. I don't know what Lemurian is. Let me just look that up. Okay, so Lemuria seems to be some kind of hypothesized land in the... So where are we... Yes, so sort of between East Africa... So in the Indian Ocean, essentially, right? Somewhere around here. So not like... So kind of like the Atlantis of the Indian subcontinent, I guess. All right, so not real, but in that area. If I understand correctly. If, you know, that was a very quick search. Okay, why has he stolen this and why is it an important bit of information? Does it matter what number this is? I don't think so. I don't think it matters how the number system works. We've got dot, line, triangle, square, square with a dot. So dot adds another 1 maybe. So what are we up to? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 is 2 triangles. Makes sense. 4 plus 3 is 7. 4 plus 4 is 8. 4 plus 5 is 9. 5 plus 5 is 10. And then you put an X in it, I guess, for 12? No. Yes? So 1 axe means 1. So I think this is the symbol for 11 because it's... So, sorry, I'll explain how this works. So the pictures are also giving you descriptions of the number. So, for example, these are 3 leaves. An axe is 1 thing. 2 axes are 2. 3 leaves is 3. 4 legs is 4. 5 fingers is 5. 6 legs is 6. 4 legs and 3 arrows is 7. 8 legs is 8. 6 legs and 3 leaves is 9, and so on. 10 fingers is 10. 12 legs is 12. 10 fingers and 1 axe is 11. So this is the symbol for 11, and it's also 5 plus 2 threes is 11. So he's stolen the 11 tile. I don't know why that's important, but I've worked it out. God, we're quite close. We could probably fill in a lot of this stuff. It's been an hour, but I feel like if I stop now, it'll only be a short time. So not worth kind of breaking the episode up, I don't think. Right. Let's crack down on this. Why don't we know any names? Who are we missing in names-wise? Podrick's other name and the detective's... Oh, we know the detective's name. We know the detective's name. It's Arthur Faulkner. God, we've known this forever. So I guess by deduction, this is just Podrick Hill, right? Cool. Not by... Yeah, by deduction. Yeah. Okay. This is good. Oops. Didn't mean to do that. I didn't mean to do that. I meant to do that. So, let's look at the scroll again. Meanwhile, in the somewhere, someone blanked someone. And something a Lemurian... I think this is going to be Boomerang. From the wall, right? From the salon. This is going to be a Lemurian Boomerang from the salon. And I think it's going to be stole again. I don't think it's going to be planted. So, someone did something to someone else. Is it going to be distracted? Something's happened in the salon. So one thing is, this guy, what's his name? Ergin, said, I hope the host did not notice me when he was leaning over the sleeping eye patch gentleman. So James Turner was leaning over him at some point. So that's the clue that he stole the button. Right? And that also corroborates the testimony of Leopold, whose button was stolen, because he says he saw Ergin through the door when he was standing in the salon. I think Ergin was in the salon to take something off the wall. I think he stole the thing off the wall. I think that was his little petty revenge, maybe. The spicy smelling ornamental box is interesting. Does this have a spicy smell? Nothing about spice, nothing about smell. So how do we corroborate what happened in terms of where everyone was? Let me just shrink these very slightly so my head is nowhere near. I want to corroborate. What am I trying to do? Okay. So meanwhile, in the garden or in outside, I think this is going to be some kind of distraction. I think, as discussed, Alistair Coke left the chess house briefly. What did he do at that time? Saw Alistair leave the chess house, and return shortly afterwards. Right? Now, was he getting the boomerang at that point? That's what I was kind of looking at in this paragraph. So meanwhile, in the chess house... Do any of these other guys have pink eyes? No. No, I'm thinking about the tea house, and I'm thinking about the the half-drunk tea, because I was wondering if someone drugged someone, but that's not adding together from the testimony because no one else fell asleep. So meanwhile, we know Augustus Valentine left the fountain of his own accord. So it wasn't like he was killed at the fountain and then dragged. So if this final paragraph is in the salon around noon, someone killed Augustus Valentine. Does noon work as a time period? So, the gardener saw Augustus leave the fountain at noon. So that would line up. I mean, they had to kill him in the salon, right? There's no dragging this body around. There's no evidence of that. So I think in the salon around noon, this is going to be the killed... Where's the fella? Augustus Valentine, right? Now, I don't know which of Alistair or James... Well, it's not going to be James, is it? James is giving himself his alibi by staying at the chess house. The chess house. James arrived at the chess house. Afternoon, saw Augustus leave the fountain. So if we in terms of this map. So at this point, in the afternoon, the gardener has moved from here to here. So he sees Augustus leave the fountain. I don't think he can see the chess house. And he worked here on the roses until the alarm was raised. By Hill. Podrick Hill? By Hill. Oh, by Hill, by Podrick Hill. Yes, that's there we go. It wasn't just deduction. His name was Hill. Right, we got that. Idiot. I'm going to put it in. James arrived. So James... I think it's got to be Alistair. They're working together. It's got to be Alistair doing the killing. In the blah, Alistair... But what did he do? He was in the chess house. It's going to be drugged, killed, planted, or stole. And none of them make much sense. Drugged, killed, or stole. I'm just wondering, early in this James drugging Leopold is early in the morning, right? Morning, drank sherry. I'm trying to work out how the Ergin Gideon movements play into this, because they're sort of bearing witness to what's going on. Yeah, Leopold fell asleep. Butler was asleep, woke the butler, entered the salon, body was there. told the butler to raise the alarm. It doesn't say morning, I don't think, in his testimony specifically. And he saw Lemur, he saw Ergin watching him through the door. But I think that's when Ergin was... Maybe this middle bit is Ergin stealing the slate back. Oh, we can't choose slate though. Can we? What are we saying this thing is called? The seals. Right, maybe this is the seal thing. So let's get rid of all that. So meanwhile in the salon, I think Ergin 2... No. Okay, the tea and the spicy smelling ornaments are a real thing. He drugged little Timmy. What's his name? Gideon. Let's go back to Gideon's testimony. But sorry, I need to go back in the house for that. They got bored and went to drink tea in the tea house. Does he not know he was... So maybe he didn't... Yes, okay. Okay, so the Lemurian lichen, right? Got it. So, Ergin drugged Gideon. So they went to the tea house. He gave him the Lemurian lichen in his tea. Now, Lemurian lichen gives you hyper concentration and kind of loss of time. Is he blinking a lot as well? He is blinking a lot. So, from his testimony, all Gideon remembers is... So Ergin went, my goodness, look at that chest house. Isn't that weird? Look at the design on that. And because he was drugged up and like zoom, hyper focused in, he was like, oh yeah. Absolutely loses time. Meanwhile, Ergin sneaks back to the house because he's like, screw these guys. I'm stealing back some of my stuff. Ergin. Drugs. I knew this didn't make any sense before. Gideon Bell. And stole a seal from the salon. Then, I think in the salon at around noon, this is when Alistair Coke comes back, kills Augustus Valentine, and plants the button on him. And of course, he got the button because James Turner gave it to him when he arrived at the chess house. Oh, we got there in the end. What a picture. Let's read the conclusion. Brotherhood members Alistair and James plotted to turn the ruling moderate and loyalist parties against each other. Over the course of a weekend in James's manor, Alistair murdered the moderate leader and James framed the loyalist leader. Okay, it does make sense. So, inviting the Patu leader, Ergin, wasn't a scapegoat or anything like that. It was just a normal, I think, I don't know, a normal thing to do. I haven't actually filled in the right-hand side of this thing at all. I'll get there. Over the course of the weekend, yeah. Okay, right, that's kind of... The good thing is this scenario is kind of what we thought was happening when we were going through the clues. This seemed to be what we just needed to kind of get the hard evidence to prove it. Nope, I need to complete this, let's just go over here. So Augustus Valentine is the victim. The boomerang is the murder weapon. The salon is where he was found, and the body was found by Leopold, I think. Great. Okay, the gardener was by the flower beds. The butler was in the library. The doctor was in the chess house. The loyalist, which one's the loyalist? Leopold was in the salon because he found the body. The general, who's Alistair Coke, was in the chess house playing with chess with James Turner. The young man was, I guess, in the tea house still. And the prince, I think, was also in the tea house. Great. Great. That was a fun one. Let's just move my face back. Yeah, that was fun. That all came together. It required some study. I'm glad I made the Excel sheet because I could keep referring to the testimonies and corroborating it with what we were seeing and just getting a big picture of what happened over the course of the day. I enjoyed doing that. I'm glad I did that. I think it would have been more annoying if I was going in and out of the testimony thing in the policeman's pocket. Cool. That was fun. That was a lot of fun. Did you find that fun? I found that fun. Whew. Cool. I'm looking forward to the next one now. I tell you what, as a little treat, let's look at this. As a little, it's an idle thing. Let's look at this little cutscene. And then we'll go. Prepare yourselves, it might be loud. You've proven that I can trust you. Here is the Brotherhood's artifact that I removed from the traitor Keen. Let me educate you how it works. I set it to take heat from a cup of water. And then I changed the symbols and used the idol to give the heat to something else. But there is much more that the idol can do. Well, we knew that, but it's nice to see it. This is our guy, isn't it? This is our Lazarus guy. The traitor Keen. I am very confused with Walter Keen's storyline. I'm telling you that. I don't know what he's up to. Ooh. Anyway, well, we'll get to that in the next episode, in the next chapter. I'll see you then, hopefully. Hope you enjoyed that. Goodbye.